I've always hated driving in the dark. I know it's irrational, but the world shrinks in my headlights, focusing all my attention on the narrow ribbon of asphalt in front of me. The darkness beyond feels hungry, waiting to swallow me whole. That night, though, wasn't just about the usual fear of the unknown. This trip felt different, wrong. I was returning from a business conference, a miserable 3 days of fluorescent lighting and forced small talk. My rental car, a nondescript sedan, felt like a metal coffin. The GPS had died miles ago. Screw up after screw up, this trip was a disaster. It was getting late, past 2 a.m., when I saw the sign for a motel. It was the kind of place you only see in old horror movies, flickering neon and cracked asphalt promising a sleepless night. At the front desk, the clerk was a man with eyes that seemed too big for his face. He didn't speak, just gestured vaguely towards a form on the counter. I signed it with a trembling hand, the ink feeling colder than it should. My room was on the second floor, down a dimly lit hallway that smelled faintly of mildew and despair. The door was ajar. I pushed it open hesitantly, chills prickling my skin. The room itself was exactly what I expected, bland and unwelcoming. A single lamp flickered in the corner, casting long, grotesque shadows on the wall. I threw my bag onto the bed and went to switch on the light. As I fumbled for the switch, a sound stopped me cold. It came from the bathroom, a soft, rasping wheeze, like something struggling for breath. My heart hammered in my chest. I told myself it was just the pipes, an old building settling. But a voice, small and insistent, whispered in the back of my mind. Taking a deep breath, I approached the bathroom door slowly. The rasping grew louder, almost a whimper now. I flung the door open. There was nothing, just an empty, sterile bathroom. But the air felt thick, heavy with a nameless dread. I turned to leave, then noticed it, a single muddy footprint on the otherwise pristine bathroom floor. It wasn't mine. Fear, cold and gripping, snaked its way up my throat. I ran to the door, wrenching it open. The hallway was empty, silent. I slammed the door shut, fumbling for the lamp switch. I flipped it on and off repeatedly, the single bulb struggling to pierce the darkness. Back in the room, the silence felt heavier than the darkness around me. Every rasping breath, every creak of the building sounded like a threat. I checked under the bed, in the closet, anywhere a person could hide. Nothing. There was nothing there, except the growing certainty that something had been there, watching me before I reached the bathroom. Waiting. The image of the muddy footprint burned itself onto my mind. I couldn't sleep. Dawn couldn't come fast enough. As soon as the faintest hint of light crept through the thin curtains, I grabbed my bag and fled. I never stopped driving until I reached the highway, the tires humming a symphony of escape. Later, when I checked the car, I found a small muddy handprint on the passenger seat. It hadn't been there before. The rental car felt like it held its breath as I drove it back, the silence screaming with unspoken suggestions.